In support of Democracy Without Borders and our current campaign for a global democratic revolution, I will be taking you on a bit of a journey. This was all part of a film called World Vote Now that I made. It took me 8 years. I went to 26 countries in every region of the planet. And in this instant, what we're trying to do is see what it's like at the birth of democracy. So we went to the Democratic Republic of Congo during the first referendum after the Civil War, the bloodiest war since World War II, where people were voting on a constitution for the country, the first constitution after the war. This is a parallel to the world, the current world, that does not have a constitution either.
There are going to be the first elections ever in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The first vote after the bloodiest war since World War II and a long dictatorship.
I'm 31 years old. I've no experience of elections.
Are you going to vote tomorrow?
Tomorrow it will be my first time with the referendum. My first time. I have to choose either yes or no for the Constitution. This election for me is an event in my life.
First, we have to go to the Election Commission to get accredited as observers.
We are working in an electoral process, and we have to observe and be permanent and present.
The people in the street are desperately trying to get their hands on a document. And I realize that it's the new constitution that they're going to vote on tomorrow.
Some other people think it is not time for the referendum. We are going to watch and see what will happen about it. We know what is going to happen.
Simply by talking about the referendum in public, we get arrested. For the first time in my life, I feel what it's like not to have freedom of speech. And I am very scared. We are led away and our equipment gets confiscated. The camera's still running for a while, and then they turn it off. And then they put a machine gun to the head of one of our new friends from Koyeski. And he looks at me and says, "You know, they can't do anything that they haven't done to me before."
Let me pause for a minute here. When you arrive in a country that's been in conflict, you know right away. You can feel it. It's a vibe, but you can also see there's military aircraft at the airport or United Nations airplanes or unmarked airplanes. That's it. You also realize that life is cheap. So when we talk about democracy, a lot of people imagine it's putting a little paper in a box. But as you can see here, where there is none, and they're just building the first democratic infrastructure, it is much more important. It is about rule of law, accountability, peace. That is the foundation of democracy. It isn't about some kind of voting and procedure only. It is much more important.
C'est bien emballé. The operation is now to begin.
Voting is in full swing when the first problems arise.
Le devait être récupéré dans l'autre bureau. Mais celui qui est là,
Many people can't find themselves in this new system.
En quoi on est responsable? On ne veut pas solutionner les problèmes des gens.
Oui, les gens ne se retrouvent pas dans les listes. Alors, il y a un bureau qui demande à l'autre bureau de les reprendre. L'autre bureau dit non, ils ne sont pas dans ma liste, je ne sais pas les reprendre. Alors, ça pose problème. Oui. Veuillez trouver une solution, s'il vous plaît.
Referendum today had to begin at 6 sharp and to end at 5 o'clock in the evening. We don't know what is happening, and we are watching, we are looking at the Electoral Commission to tell when it is going to finish.
The Election Commission decides to extend voting into a second day.
These people, himself and all of them are not paid yet. The police are asking him for money, and his agents in the bureau are asking him for money.
À l'assistance que le scellé de l'urne sont en bon état avant de les...
Even with all the obstacles and all the difficulties and irregularities, the voting process, it comes to an end.
And that is good history for me. Good history.
So this short clip from Congo that showed us the first referendum in the country after the Civil War is kind of a parallel to where the world is right now. The world doesn't have a constitution or a democratic system set up for all the people yet. But I think it could benefit. Just like democracy stabilizes countries, evens the playing field, brings rule of law and peace, it could do this not just on a national level, but on the global level. If you find this interesting, please go to democracywithoutborders.org and sign up if you want to be actively involved.